It doesn't seem like it's been very long since Prusa released the Core One, their first true Core XY fully enclosed printer, yet they've already moved on to the next iteration of the platform, the Core One Plus. Even though it's not a major upgrade, one of the advantages of the Prusa platform is its upgradability. So, as expected, Prusa supply an upgrade kit that'll bring Core One owners bang up to date with the Core One Plus advancements. And in this video, we'll cover the entire upgrade process. In essence, we're upgrading three components of the base Core One: a new style spool holder, a new automatic vent control mechanism, and the biggest upgrade of them all, a redesigned filament sensor housing, making it easier to insert flexible filaments. These, coupled with a new firmware update, should provide smoother operation all round. Any tools required for this upgrade will have been supplied with the Core One previously, so that'll be the 1.5 and 2.5mm hex, and the T10 Torx Allen keys, although you will find it easier using drivers if you have some available, as well as the uni keys and needle nose pliers, all stuff from your original kit. In addition, flush cutters are optional but always useful to have around. I also found a metal scraper came in handy too, otherwise we're set to go. So we begin by ensuring there is no loaded filament in the machine. If there is, remove it, and then remove any side-loaded spool too. Next, in the control menu, we want to move the Z-axis so that it's around halfway down the printer. Around 100mm or so will be fine. And then remove the steel sheet. Finally, ensure the printer has cooled, so the extruder fan should have completely stopped, before powering down and unplugging the power cable. At this point, we want to remove the top cover, although before doing so, mark the top side. The panel isn't symmetrical, and this will make it easier to identify the top, which we'll need for later. Once done, proceed to remove all the nylon rivets that hold the plastic sheet in place. I find using a scraper easier here, although if you do break any, you should have received plenty of spares with your original Core One kit, or they're cheaply available online. With all removed, the panel lifts off with ease. Next then, we'll move across to the right side of the printer, the handle and the filament insertion point to be precise. Using a T10 driver, remove the two screws holding the handle in position. You may find it easier to hold the filament sensor housing on the opposite side while removing both screws. And with that, the handle can be placed to one side. And we can proceed with removing all the rivets around the outer edges of the right side panel. You could probably complete the entire upgrade without moving this side panel, to be fair, although it just makes the process less restricted and easier in general. Anyways, with rivets released, remove the panel from the printer completely. We now have easy access to the opposite side, where we can proceed to remove the 4 M3x8 screws in the center. And this will, in turn, release the original spool holder, which can be placed to one side, as it will not be reused. Instead, we'll be installing the newly designed spool holder here, which comes in two parts. It's the smaller of the two parts that needs physical installation to the right panel. As this is a 3D printed part, we'll be creating threads as we drive screws into place, so you may feel some resistance, but go ahead and line up the puck on the outside of the panel, and secure using the previously removed 4 M3x8 screws. Do not over tighten here, as you'll risk stripping the threads you're just creating. A nice snug fit is all that's required. With that done, drop an O-ring onto the larger spool holder section, before inserting and twisting clockwise to lock into place. And that's the first upgrade complete, so place this to one side for now, while we move our attention onto the most complex part of the upgrade, the filament sensor mechanism. Start by releasing only the two outer M3x8 screws, no need to touch the center screw just yet, in order to release the sensor cover and expose the actual filament sensor inside, after which, by releasing a single M2x8 screw located on the top edge, we can proceed to carefully remove the sensor completely. With that out of the way, release the sensor housing completely by pressing on the collet and releasing the PTFE tube, and with that we are now free to go ahead and work on the sensor mechanism itself. We're going to reuse some of the parts from this unit, so go ahead and remove the collet and carefully place to one side as it'll be reused later, after which we can release the remaining M3x10 screw in order to release the arm and retrieve the metal ball, again store safely for reuse later. Next, retrieve the magnet from the arm, and we now need to extract the final magnet from the housing too. This is held quite tight, so can be tough, but you can be as destructive as you like since the housing will be discarded and not reused. I ended up drilling a small hole in from the opposite side. Okay, so with both magnets, the ball, screws, and the collet retrieved, we can proceed. We'll start with the sensor base then. Proceed to install 2 M3 square nuts into one side of the base, making sure to push them right down into position so that the holes line up with the part. Next, insert the previously harvested metal ball into its pocket and drop on the sensor arm in this orientation so that the rectangular pocket is by the ball and the opposite hook end is pointing upwards, before securing with a single M3x10 screw complete with metal washer. Take care not to over tighten here, this arm should be able to move freely. With that in place, insert one of the 2 previously harvested magnets into the end of the arm, making sure it sits flush with the top. This is an important step since otherwise it will rub against the top cover when it's in place. With that verified, the second magnet can now be inserted into the orange sensor switch, although only insert by 2 or 3 mm for now as we need to check orientation. So seat it into place inside the sensor housing and push in towards the center. The magnets should repel, so the switch should push the magnet in the lever away. In this example, they are attracted to each other, so remove the switch, flip the magnet, and try again. So as we can see, when I now move the switch across, the magnets repel and the lever pushes against the ball. So we can go ahead and push the magnet all the way in and test again. Okay, time to reinstall the sensor now. You may find it easier to move the switch to the furthest position in order to free the arm, after which the sensor cable and the sensor itself can go into place and secure with the M2x8 screw previously removed. No need to over tighten here as you'll risk damaging the sensor. If done correctly, nothing should be touching the lever and it should move freely so that the hook on the end of the arm moves perfectly in between the gate in the sensor. And at this point, double check to ensure the metal ball is still in his pocket. So this works pretty much the same as before. As filament is inserted, the ball is pushed up against the lever and the opposite end moves out of the way of the sensor, informing it filament is inserted. Similarly, as the filament is removed, the lever is pushed back down thanks to the repelling magnets, and the opposite end creates a break in the sensor, informing it filament is no longer present. So what's causing the friction when inserting filament is the 2 repelling magnets, and as the magnet in the lever pushes against the ball, inserting softer TPU filaments was often a challenge. With this new design, users can move the magnets away from each other. This frees the lever arm, and in turn frees the ball completely, meaning it's much easier to insert the filament, and once inserted, the switch can be moved back to its natural position so that the magnets repel again. A straightforward solution that works really well. Anyways, we'll need to finish up now, so place the cover on top and secure either end with the M3x8 screws. Do not over tighten as we don't want to bind the moving arm inside. And of course we're not touching that middle screw at all here. With that done, insert the previously harvested collet and the PTFE tube from inside the printer, pushing it in as far as it goes. Sensor install complete, and we're ready to get the side panel reinstalled now, along with the new spool holder. Start with the handle and remove the PTFE tube if it's still in place, and insert the M3x10 screws through either end, before feeding through the side panel, and into the filament sensor where we previously installed the M3 square nuts. This can get a little fidgety, but proceed to tighten down until snug. With that in place, reposition the side panel and secure using the originally removed rivets, 11 in total, across both sides and the bottom. Filament sensor upgrade complete. All that's left now is the automatic vent control system. This comes in two parts. The first is installed onto the extruder assembly itself, so proceed to move the extruder assembly carefully to the left side, giving plenty of room to remove the two M3x6 screws on the right, in order to remove the right side panel. And now simply replace with the new side panel, and reinsert the two M3x6 screws we just removed. Job done. The second part is installed onto the top panel we removed at the very start of the process. Start by removing the vent panel, so grab the nuts on the bottom using either some needle nose pliers or the wrench supplied with your printer, and remove all three M3x10 screws, in order to release the panel. At this point, remove the plastic inserts from two of the three screws, and insert two new M3x12 screws into them instead, making sure the flat side is sitting up beside the screw head. Now, with the top cover in hand and in the correct orientation, orientate the vent cover so that the screw holes align with the left side of the rectangular openings, as shown here, and place the vent cover, in this orientation, underneath the larger top panel, aligning the screw holes. After which we can drop in the original M3x10 screw, complete with its plastic insert still in place, into the right hole, and secure by hand tightening a M3 lock nut. We can now place the second piece of the vent control system underneath the vent cover in this orientation so that the protruding section is closer to the edge of the top panel, and drop a M3x12 screw with its plastic insert through all three parts into the next hole, and then the second M3x12 screw with the plastic insert into the final remaining hole. With these two screws in place, hand tighten M3 lock nuts onto both, just to keep everything securely in place for now. After which you can go ahead and use the wrench or some needle nose pliers to hold the nut while you drive the screws into place. Take care not to over tighten here. You should tighten enough to remove any slack, but leave enough space so that the vent cover can slide open and closed with ease, as shown here. Once you are happy that the sliding motion is relatively smooth, go ahead and place the top cover back into position on the printer and secure with rivets. You can work your way around all sides if you wish, although 2 in the rear and 2 up front should be adequate. That's the hardware upgrade pretty much complete now. Finish up by lining up and installing your plus sticker onto the front door, as well as your new serial sticker onto the rear. You can remove the old serial sticker, or simply place the new one over the old if you prefer. All that's left then is to reinstall your print sheet, making sure it's clean from any fingerprints and other such marks, and ensure your new filament sensor mechanism is set so that the orange X is not showing. In effect, this places it into its default location. Should you need the extra space to insert filament, the switch can simply be moved across so that the X shows, although take care to always move it back prior to printing. In order to use the new features then, we need to apply the new firmware update, which is freely available on the Prusa website. Go ahead and download the latest update available for the Core One Plus, and copy it to the root of your USB drive, and insert the USB drive into the printer, and power up. The printer will automatically detect and apply the new update if it's needed, or, as in my case here, skip it completely if you're already running the latest version. Once applied and powered, it's a good idea to head into the control menu and run a full calibration. This will test all aspects of the printer to ensure all is well following the upgrade, so proceed to follow the wizard through until all tests pass successfully. Finally, head into the hardware section within the settings menu in order to activate the automatic vent control by setting it to auto. And that's it, Core One Plus upgrade complete. Go ahead and use the printer as normal with your added quality of life improvements, and happy printing!